So excited, Luke. All right, we do need a strap. So let's have a strap, 2 blocks. Set your cat aside if they'll go. Otherwise, work around it. So if you can think of how does it feel in your body, things went wrong. Man, 2 days ago, just took it on the chin. It was terrible, and I felt terrible, and I also felt familiar. And in that, there was this collapsing and there was a hardening, because the hardening meant at least I was safe. It wasn't going to happen again. It couldn't get any closer. And so it was just this sort of falling in and down. And this is the opposite. I don't have anything to offer anyone if I'm in this space. It's hard for me to hear in this space. And it's hard for me to craft an alternative. And so the work today is to strengthen the back of the body, to lift the heart, to open across the collarbones, and in particular through the sides, because it's the sides that allow us. This is where your levity is. This is where your laughter is. This is where your breath is. And then it's okay. That really creating this opening is what creates the safety that I wanted, that I just was struggling for, and getting on my mat and getting it to begin to change at a level of my bones was the solution. So we'll see where we go. We will start on hands and knees. And if you choose, you have your blanket unfolded to a large rectangle down onto your knees. Happy Saturday. Good morning, good morning. Hands and knees. Let your hips wash side to side. Let your head be heavy. Let the very top of your head be heavy. So that as your head drops down, your chin tucks in, and the very back of your heart seems to lift. Press the base of your thumbs down. And you keep your hips moving softly. And the movement of your hips and the movement of your back and the drop of your head, all of it gets a little more space up behind the heart. And then circle the hips. And start to find a little space through the sides. Down into the base of the thumbs, down into the base of the knuckles, so that even though these circles are in the hips, they're actually creating a real sensation of a foundation in the hands. And then reverse your direction of your hips. And can you steer your hips from your hands? And can you start to draw your heart a little further forward? So as you come through the front, lift your chin. And as you roll through the back, tuck your chin. That you start to find a round and an arch. Just for 3. For 2. So that there's a little play before we go anywhere else. Find the center, cat-cow. Find that line right through the middle of all of it. Inhale as you open, exhale as you round. And bring your attention down to the base of your first finger, where your first finger meets your hand, that knuckle, plug in. And then where your thumb meets the floor, the base of your thumb. From there. Good. Keep it going. Turn your left thumb forward, turn your left fingers left, or turn it all the way back so that the left palm comes to the floor and your left fingertips turn back towards your left knee and your left thumb turns away. And now plug into the base of your left thumb, the base of your left first finger, and feel it all the way up through the palm and the chest and the collarbone and down the back. Good. Keep it going as you turn your left fingers forward. Turn your right thumb forward, turn your right fingers right. That might be your spot. Or turn your right thumb right and your right fingers back. And cat-cow. That you could flush out the palm, the forearm, the tops of your shoulders. And And then turn your right fingers forward. Knees are still wide. Child's pose. Come onto your fingertips. And just let your palms float. And again, a little bit side to side. Can you inch your fingers forward a half inch? Walk your hands together, put your palms together, put your thumbs up, bring your elbows down, and drop your seat back. You may look a little bit forward so the back of your neck and the base of your throat are even, and then bend your elbows and tuck your chin. Just for 3. A little bit side to side if it gets sticky for 2. And the hands come down, tuck your toes. And as you find your dog, walk your dog. Arms going long, feel the space. So you've made this, we're starting right in the palms of your hands. Because there's a protective tissue around your heart. And that protective tissue actually extends all the way into the palms of your hands. Find a still dog and let your knees bend, let your heels float, let your elbows open. Find the base of your first finger, the base of your thumbs. Roll your outer shoulders back, lengthen the back of your neck. And step your right foot up and let your left knee come down and sweep your hands up high. And just palms together, thumbs down. And we'll do it 3 times. So as you release your hands, hips full back, hands up, thumbs down the back, and let it go. So that there's some momentum and a little bit of space. Keep your thumbs down your back and down dog. Step back. A little more breath, a little more action. Left foot steps up, right knee comes down. Hands sweep up high, palms fall together, thumbs down the back. And then as you release, shift your weight back, your hips back. And then palms together, hips come forward. And you're just finding your way in and out. It's as though you're allowing your breathing into your shoulders and into your hips. And this time, palms together, thumbs downward facing dog. Just set it down and notice. Open your elbows a little more. Open your armpits a little more. Go ahead. Right foot steps up, left knee down. Hands up high, palms together. As you release, look up, reach up. Inhaling and exhale, fold to the floor. Left foot steps up. Good. Hands wide, sit down, thumbs up, heart up, hands up. Palms together down the back. Hands up, look up, reach up. And fold, knees bend, hands wide, left foot back, left knee down. And hands up. Down the back, tuck of the chin. Hands up, look up. And fold. Step back, down dog. Left foot steps up, right knee down. So we're just finding our way into this really simple, palms together, down the back. Reach up, look up. And fold. Right foot steps up. Sit down, hands wide. Stand up, reach up. Down the back. Reach up, look up. Knees bend, hands wide. Right foot, right knee. And rise. Down the back. Elbows in. And let it out. And fold. Down dog. Right foot, left knee. Inhaling up. Exhaling, elbows in. And now let it go and inhale right from the belly to your hands. And set it down. Stepping up. Sweeping wide, standing up. Down the back. Reach up, release. And fold. Left foot, left knee, hands up. The hint of a smile, elbows in. and let it up. You're drawing prana, you're drawing energy through your body. Inhale, dog. Exhale, left foot, right knee. Inhale, hands. And set it down. And reach up and fold. Stepping up, sitting down, and rising. Down the back, tuck the chin, elbows in. Let it go, right from the feet to the hands, and fold. Right foot, right knee, last one, hands up. Down the back, reaching up to fold. Stepping back, down dog. And being still in your dog, feeling the chest float, the elbows open, the base of your first finger knuckle, the base of your thumb. The knees soft, widen the seat, widen the upper back, a little more tuck of the chin, a little more press into the floor. The knees down. This will be inhale. On the exhale, we just set to child, folding back. Hands stay as they are. Inhale to rise and out to dog. Good. Hands and knees. We'll use our Om as we go to child. Om. Hands, knees. Out to dog. Notice if it changes. Hands, knees, breathing in. We'll go out to Om. Om. Hands, knees, eyes closed. Out to dog. Be still. Pause a beat. Hands, knees, breathing in. Last time to Om. Om. Rising. Dog. Notice. We quiet the mind, we arrive. Good morning, happy Saturday. Where is there a little space? Press into the hands, open the armpits, drop your head, knees soft, seat wide. Walk your feet to your hands. Feet fit 2 fists between them. Take your strap with you as you come, hands to your hips, sit your seat down to stand up tall. And just let your heels drop and your toes be long. Toes belong. They belong to you. Huh? Strap is wide enough that it can go up over your shoulders. So as you're opening the shoulders, have enough space in the strap so that there's a little space in the shoulders and you don't have to involve your jaw or your face. And you can actually start to lift the whole front surface and you can feel the abdomen, low back, and then round a little. And then rise a little. Tuck your chin as you take your hands forward. Spread your upper back. Press your feet down. Now lift through the heart and lift your chin. Rounding the back, your mouth is closed. As you lift your heart and lift your chin, your mouth comes open. And then close. All the way through. You go one more. We'll pause with the hands behind us. And then tuck of the chin. Wrap your hands a little closer. Add the legs with a big bend in your knees. Your chest stays broad. Fold over the thighs. Drop your hands overhead. If you need more strap, unwrap one hand. And then hands back down to the hips. Sit your seat down. Lead with your heart. Look up. Stand up. Heart up. Heels down. Tuck of the chin. Sit it down. Chest back. Hands back. Now fold over.
Stay a beat. Breathe in. Hands to your hips. Sit down. Inhale, heart up, look up. Chest is broad, it's big. Sit down. And fold over, hips up, hands overhead. We're going to go one more like that. Sit deeper, hands down. Lead with your heart, lead with your eyes. Heart so high. Now keep it. Sit down. Chest leads. Fold in. Hands overhead. Stay and turn a little side to side. Open your elbows. So all the length you made in those hands and knees and child. Open the elbows. Arms are long. Find center. Drop your head. Drop your heels. Hands down to your hips. Sit down. Look forward. Slowly stand tall. Look forward. Look forward. Look forward. If you look up, you'll tip over just then. So keep your strap in your left hand and let your right hand make great circles. And loosen out through the fingers, through the shoulders. If you need to shake out your feet or your knees, let it all the way through you. Open and close your right hand. And as you take your right hand wide, turn your thumb down, take the back of your hand to your mid-back. Your left hand, you can keep the strap. Take your left hand and the thumb comes to the right pinky finger side. Good. Step your right foot back over the side of your blanket. So you're just a blanket's width. And we're going to just fold a beat. Elbows back, heart leads, just like we did with the strap. So lead with the heart. Come up, elbows back, heart up. We'll do two more. Fold. Come into the feet, broaden the chest, elbows back. Press the front foot, rising tall. Lead with your heart. Square your hips. And fold. So the right side is opening. The left hand is stabilizing. Come up tall. Square your right hip forward. Left hand will come up and drop the strap down your back, and you simply catch it in your left hand. Good. Good. Turn both feet and both hips to the right. And then soften your knees and fold right down the middle. A bend in the left and then a bend in the right. Moving softly side to side. So by shifting the weight, you start to change through the hamstrings, the inner groin, the hips. And as the hips open, then the chest will follow. Right shoulder back, right elbow back, left elbow points down. Lift them both away from your legs. Find center. Drop your head. Reach your left elbow toward the floor. And sit your seat down. Lead with your heart. And left elbow up as you stand. Good. Release your right hand down and your left hand down and step to the top of the mat. So the strap goes into the right hand, the left hand circles. And just notice left side versus right side right now. There's an opening in the right chest and use that to drop into your right heel. So as we make these openings, it's not just that we're opening the chest, we are giving ourselves the permission to reach further down into the ground. We're releasing armor, tension. Take your left hand back, turn your thumb down. Take the back of your hand to your mid-spine. Your right hand with the strap. You'll turn, your right thumb is on the pinky side of the left hand. And step your left foot back now. So the left hip squares, the heart comes up, and just like our forward fold, we're going to lead with the heart. Broadening through the collarbone, spread your left hand wide on your back. And then rise up, lead with your chest, elbows back, heart up. And then fold, square your left hip forward, right hip back. Take your time all the way out the top of your head. And then rise. Good. Lead with your heart up, jaw open. And then fold, hips back. Fold, all the way out. Lead with your heart to bring it up. And pause. Spread your fingers behind you. Right hand comes up. Bend your right elbow. The strap goes to your left hand. So we've got a clasp, a bind, turn to the left. Right? Knees soften. Take your tail back. As you hinge, fold over. Good. Bend one knee, bend the other. Make space inside your legs. Use your feet as your foundation so that your hips can move more easily, more fully. And then reach your left elbow toward the ceiling and your right elbow down and draw them both a little bit back. Chest is broad. Yes, that's it. See if you can lengthen your legs, press your tail up and your heels down. Yes, awesome fix. That's it. Good, good, good. The way out is the way in. So sit down, deep, deep, deep into the knees. Drop your seat. Stand tall. Pause. Good. Right hand to release. Left hand to release. It's a big change. And step your left foot up. Set your strap down. And now it's as though you can allow your heels to drop out of your shoulders. That when we're upset, when we protect the heart, we unplug, right? If you can think about what sensation, I make this. I crouch and I hide. But now as you open the chest, feel your feet. Yeah, 100%. Hands up. Down the back, tuck the chin. Now we move. Hands up, look up, let go, hands down. Step your left foot back. Put your left knee down. Hands up. Down the back, tuck the chin. See what you've made. Reach up, look up, and set it down. Down dog. Left foot steps, right knee down, hands up. Just feel what you've made. Flush it out. Hands down the back. And reach up. And down dog. Stepping back. Notice the shoulders, the front and the back, the upper chest, the upper back. The breath, the freedom at the base of your neck, the length of your arms. Bring your feet together. Bring your right heel high. Come onto your right fingertips. And reach from your right fingertips into your right toe. Bend your right knee and press it straight. One more, bend your right knee. You're on your right fingertips. Press it straight. Good, and step your right foot up. We'll go to warrior two. So step your left heel to the floor and sweep open. I'm just going to shift so you can see the other side. Straighten your front leg, hands up. And then widen down. All the way into the feet, from the feet to the hands. And then widen down. Staying here. Left hand to the thigh. Turn your right palm open and stay here. So with this palm open, with the collarbone open, see if you can feel that the axis of your spine isn't forward, isn't back. If you need to, mess with it. And find the center. Left hand stays on the back thigh. Reach up. Right palm faces back. Now straighten your front leg and allow the right side body to get long. And then bend your right knee. So inhale will be straight up and back. Exhale will be bending. One more. Up and back. And bend. Beauty. Warrior two. Feel what you made. Side angle. Elbow to thigh. Reach up, reach over, look up. How different right side, left side. So left hand comes down inside your front foot. Put your left knee to the floor. And just as you did a moment ago, take your right hand to your back thigh and your left hand high now. Stay three. Stay two. Can you open the jaw and drop your head a little more? Out of the tongue, out of the mouth. Two hands down, step back, down dog. Walk your dog, wag your tail. Feel where it needs to go.
And then let your dog be still. The base of your first fingers down, the base of your thumbs down. Wrap your shoulders back, soften your knees, and widen your seat. Soften your heart. Find it. Soften it. Feet together. Left heel high onto your left fingertips. A little more breath can suddenly find the left side body. Bend your left knee and press it straight. Bend your left knee. Press it straight. Fingertips, strength. And the left foot steps up. The warrior two. So the right heel to the floor. Hands widen. And just float. And bend your front knee and drop in. Take away any work and rise up. So that as you bend your knee, it moves towards the left little toe. Right hand to the back thigh. Left palm turns open. And that turning open is getting all the way into the jaw. So the heart is the intersection between the hips and the jaw. There is a great X of connective tissue. And if we can loosen the jaw and the hips, it will change the heart. Odd as that might be. Left hand comes up, point back. Loosen your face and straighten the front leg. Take it back. This is your inhale. Bend the front knee. There's your X. Can you feel it all the way up into your eyelids, into the skin of your forehead, into your lips and your tongue? One more. And reach back. Now slowly, you'll bend your left knee. And you'll square your right hip forward and you'll pause, resting in your feet, allowing your heart to rise. So where is the work? And is it going into your face? And is it going into your jaw? Let it out of the breath. Side angle. Sweep over. Beautiful. Rest your elbow. Open the right side. Press your right heel down. Open the right hip. And two hands down. So now the right knee to the floor. The left hand reaches back to your right thigh. And your right hand comes up. And you take your time and let your eyes find a point. And then find a little further. And then a little further. Let your eyes lead your heart. Open your mouth. Soften your face. And tuck your chin and set it down. And step back, down dog. And notice the body. Turn of the chin. Knees wide to the floor, toes together. Onto your fingertips. Fold back and just deepen into the hips and into the legs. Wag your tail. The space you've made. Walk your hands to the right. A big step all the way off your mat. And then the left palm heavy, the left elbow down, the left hip back. Drop your head. The left elbow heavy. So that the left ribs can be heavy and any holding in your left shoulder can be released. And into the middle. To the left side. Right palm to the floor. Right shoulder opens, right hip back, head down. Let your right hip be heavy and soft. Let your right ribs be heavy. And the whole right side drops further toward the floor. To find the center.
So gathering your blocks. And we'll start with 2. And as you make space and as you have space, set one aside. And then as you have space, set another aside. We'll start with the right foot. So I'm just going to face the other way with your dog. Setting up with the right foot forward and the left heel to the floor. The blocks are inside the right foot. So we're in warrior 2 feet. The right palm comes down to the block and the left hand goes to your low back. So working here is option A. Option B, turn your fingers so your thumb points forward and your fingers to the right, or turn all the way back so that the fingers point back. Ha! Now find your back heel and let your heart come forward and look forward. Check it out. Does that work for me? Do I want to get closer to the floor? Hug your knee towards your upper arm. Look forward, then look up. You're on a spit. You're on a line. You're a revolution. Roll the left ribs open. Take your left hand high. Turn your left palm to see the front. Your hips swing to the left toward the center line. Press your right hand down, your left heel down, and stay a beat. Left hand slowly begins to extend overhead. Hug your arm to your knee. Bend your right knee. Stand in your left heel. Spin your heart. Open your eyes. 2. Left hand is high. Hands face forward and down. Good. Set your block forward and your foot back. Float your right foot high. And just bend and straighten the right leg. Bend your knee, making a circle if you need to flush out the right side hip. And then the left foot will step up. Your right heel drops to the floor, warrior 2 feet. 2 blocks inside the left foot. Left hand to the block. Right hand sweeps around to your low back. So this is our first setup. If that works for you, you're going to work right here. Or turn your thumb forward, like our cat-cow prep. Or turn your thumb to the left and fingers back. And now notice that when you look forward, your heart comes forward, your left knee bends. You're drawing your heart up out of your feet. If there's space, set your other block forward. Now from that, you're looking forward and you are tracing a line, and the line is drawing your heart forward, and your right hand rises to meet that line. And your right heel is to the floor, and your gaze is open, and the crown of your head is reaching forward, and your heart comes forward, and slowly your right hand explores its way overhead. Shift your hips to the right, open it all. And it takes time. Left knee to the right outer arm, left knee forward, eyes open. Good. Right hand high, look down, set down, and step back. Float your left foot, bend and straighten your left knee, free up the left hip. But notice the depth that can get at in your chest. And step your left foot up to your hands and turn to the right and stand up tall. So imagining that was just sort of this inner scrub that we went to new places. Arms wide, palms down. A simple flow, hands down the backs of your legs, fold down. Good, inhale, rise up, hands wide. Right hand down, left hand overhead. Press into your left heel. And then open wide. Good, bend your right knee, your left hand down, revolve. And inhale, open. Exhale down the backs of your legs, fold. And unfold. Inhale up. Left knee bends, right hand over. Exhale, navel to spine, heel to the floor.
Inhale wide. Left knee bends, right hand down. And unfold. And down the backs of the legs. We'll do 2 more full sets. Find the flow of your breathing. Rise up. Left hand overhead. Press your left heel. Exhale, navel to spine. And inhale, open out. Bend your right knee, left hand down. Revolve, navel to spine, turning. Up and open. Down the backs of your legs. Fold, find your breath. Unfold. Right hand over. Right heel down, navel to spine. Inhale, open, unfold. Left knee bends, right hand down, revolving and unfolding. Down the backs of the legs, fold. Good. Unfold, lead with your heart. That's it. Left hand over, navel to spine. Center. Right knee bends, left hand down. Revolve. Unfold. Down the legs. Unfold. Right hand. Hands wide. Left knee. Unfold. Hands to your thighs. Pause and notice. Soften your shoulders. The effort of the posture fades completely. Good. Pivot to face the left foot. Put your right knee to the floor. Left hand to your left thigh, right hand high. And let your right hand down and just front knee comes back and then forward. And back. Your pace, your body. Your right toes are tucked under. And so any tension in the hips or the low back or the upper arm, you are making space. You're giving permission. Out the fingers, out the shoulder, out of yesterday. Where does it need to go? Let it change. And you go 2. Good. And 1. Stay. Bend your elbow. Hold the back of your head. Fall back. Left hand sweeps to the back of your right thigh. Keep the arms and bring your hips back a little bit. Your right elbow will rise. Bend your left knee. And now 1 inch forward and 1 inch back. Explore. How can you find a slight change in the right side body? Pause. Drop your head into your hand. Effortlessly open the right side body. Right hand extends. Open it. And the right hand down. Step back. Down dog. And notice the right side body. So let the left knee be soft. Let the left shoulder and elbow be soft. And be absolutely attentive. Base of the right first finger, base of the thumb. Wrap your right shoulder back, your right hip back, your right heel down. Excellent. Step your left foot up. No, your right foot up. I can tell Lori wouldn't go anywhere. Right hand to the thigh, left hand up. And then down. I ride this awesome horse named Buttercup. She's like, no, we're not doing that. Looser. More personal, less mine, more yours. But today deserves all of its own space that you're carrying yesterday. Let it through. 1 more. So that when you arrive, you can bend your left elbow, you can catch your head, you can drop your right hand to your left thigh, and you can fall right into this present activity. Hips a little forward, a little back.
Exploring all the depth. You are right down against the connective tissue of your spine, your bones. Find stillness and soften in the places that want to grip. Soften in the places that want to grip. Drop your head into your hands. Let the weight open your left elbow. And then look down and set down and down dog. Right side is soft. Left palm. The base of your left first finger opens your elbow. The base of your left thumb wraps your shoulder back. Drop your head. The left hip high, the seat wide, the left heel down, the back of your knee opens. And if you press too hard, you'll bow your heart towards your feet. Float a little. Tuck of the chin, and now both feet, both hands. Open the joints, open the elbows, open the knees, open the back of your neck. Keep all that length, knees to the floor. Step your hands a full hand length forward. And then the hips can come back, but you can't get to child, so you're in a half dog. Arms are beside your ears. Ears are inside your arms. Now take your tail back. Plant your fingers and pull your fingers towards your fingertips. Pull towards the center of your palm. Hips are back. Spine is in a little bit of traction right here, super long. And then find center, hands and knees. Right hand high. Palm will face the front. And let your right hand fall to your left and set your hips back. So right hand onto the left and fold. And then unfold. It's more about the breath. And exhale as you hips back. And inhale as you come up. Good. One more. And rise up. Arms open. Thread your right hand behind your left wrist. Come to your right shoulder. Good. Set your left palm flat, about a foot away from your face. And look, is my hand beneath my left elbow? Right palm faces the ceiling. The upper back is at ease and broadening. If you like, reach your left fingers overhead and a little to the right. You start to turn up underneath the armpit. Press into the back of your right hand, stabilizing your body. Lift your left knee. And revolve. So right knee down. And as you do, you may tense that right thigh. And instead, see if you can soften the right thigh. And that will open the turn a little more. Be heavy in your left toes. Be heavy in your right knee. But soften the left thigh. Let the pose open and soften. Left knee down to the floor. Left hand back. And back towards child. Maybe elbows to the floor. Hips back. Neutral. Softening your face, softening your hips, letting the weight of your body deepen the crease without work. So the inhale spreads your upper back and the exhale just melts the tension of your knees and hips. To hands and knees. So right palm flat to the floor, left hand to rise up. Press your right hand down and that revolves the chest. Palm faces forward. As your hips go back, your left hand comes forward, your left palm on the right, folding. Back out, left hand high, heart comes through, inhale, look up. And then exhale, fold, take your time, sweep back, making length in the left side. And folding. Good. At the top, you'll pause.
And you reach your left hand behind the right and come to your left shoulder. Right palm down. Wag the tail, settle in. Right palm is about a foot away from your face. Your right wrist is beneath your right elbow. Your right elbow is in line with your right shoulder. And you take your time and you notice that already there might be tension in the upper back. And just don't rush. Soften the breath, soften the back of the body. If this is the place to stay, stay here or reach your right hand overhead. And as you look to the ceiling under your armpit, you may walk your fingertips towards the left side. And then notice what's caught in the chest, in the breath. And then the right knee to rise. And looking up underneath, let the left knee be heavy without gripping the left thigh. Let the right toes be heavy by opening the back of your right knee. Notice what's holding instead of resting. What can rest on the floor rather than hold the pose? We soften, drop the right knee, bring the right hand back, fold to child. Rising to hands and knees. Turn your left toes out to the left, put your right foot to the floor. Take your right hand overhead. Bring your right elbow to your right knee, round it in, and then open it out. That each time you bring your foot to the floor, you bring your hips forward. And each time you bring your knee to your elbow, you take your hips back. So that you're starting to open the front of the hip. As we move towards back bends, we prepare, pausing. Pivot your left toes towards your left hand. Let your hips open. Let your heart come long. What's resting on the floor and what's holding the pose? Can you rest on the floor? All the way up into the jaw. All the way up into the top of your head. And looking down, right hand down. Awesome. We pivot. Right toes out. Left foot flat. Left hand high. And left hand over. Left knee to elbow. And then open. As you bring knee to elbow, tail goes back. You fold the hips. As you put your heel to the floor, the hips come forward. You unfold the hips, building that lower body, turning ourselves into the back bend. One more time, finding elbow to knee on your pace, and then land in the pose to pivot your right foot closer to your hand and send your right hip forward. Rest in your right hand, hip forward, heart comes higher. Where are you holding and where are you resting? Can you reside? And then hand down. Good, good, good. Set your blanket aside, and without moving much else, we're going to come onto the back. As you set up, interlace your fingers behind your back. Your palms will face away. Right? And then, palms to the floor. If it's too high, move your hands towards the low back. And pause. So perhaps you have your elbows wide and your hands are a straight line between your elbows. Or if that's too much on the fronts of your shoulders, take your hands lower so the knuckles are at the low back. Shake out the feet side to side. No tension in the feet. Open, close the toes. Shake the knees out, up and down. Wag the tail so that the legs are at ease. And as you do, you may find that the back of the neck can get a little bit longer. And as you walk the back of your head away from your hips, as you walk your hips into the ground, let your breathing become very large in your chest and soften the fronts and the tops of your shoulders. And just notice the sensation in your body. The very tops of our lungs are where we breathe when we are in a state of adrenal flush. And so we can be very, very happy and our adrenaline will flow. You know, when your team is winning and your kid is riding their bike without training wheels, things are just amazing. We're getting a lot of adrenaline. Or similarly, adrenaline flows when there is disaster, when there is a problem, when there is something we need to change really quickly. And so I would ask you to breathe into the collarbones, but soften the face and slow your breathing. What this does is it allows us to celebrate without adrenaline, without draining or taxing ourselves. We can be accessing this upper aspect of our lungs, and then we don't crash or exhaust ourselves. If you can keep that, just the breath is full and slow. Soften the fronts of your shoulders. Notice the space up under the tongue, in the jaw, in the mouth. We can experience joy. We can respond to emergency, but we can stay calm. And then releasing your hands, turn your palms open and notice as your spine adjusts, a settling. Let your breath be full. Let the exhalation out the mouth if you need to, that there can be a little buildup here, and we suddenly go, ooh, let it through. Walk your feet in. Stand in your heels to lift your hips slightly. Put your palms face down under your hips. Your thumbs come together. So your palms are down. Rest your hips on the backs of your hands. Lift your chest, walk your elbows in, and then press your elbows down to lift your head and shoulders like you could look between your knees, Matsuyasana, fish. Elbows down, heart comes up, chest goes broad, legs go long. So the heels are the counterbalance to the crown of your head. Flex your feet. When you flex your feet, the top of your head falls towards the floor. As you point your toes, reach into the balls of your feet, your heart comes up. Flex your feet, your head drops. Point your toes, your heart comes up. So oscillate between those two. As you point your toes, elbows go down. That we're flushing out this very upper aspect of the chest. All the way to the navel, all the way to the tips of your toes. Now let your knees bend, your heels on the floor. Don't bring your heels any closer. Just let your knees rise up, let your heart rise up, let your heels be heavy. Tuck of the chin. Walk your feet in, lift your hips, free your hands, palms open, keep your knees bent. Widen your heels so your knees fall in, tuck of the chin so that the back of your neck may lengthen, and a little tuck of the tail. Press your heels down, and this will lengthen the low back into the floor. Pratikriya, the counter posture. Notice the front back of the body. Notice the type of energy, the sensation that opening the front body elicits. This is Brahmana. Brahmana is a building capacity. It rises up to meet the day. This isn't a posture we would want right before bed. But it is something we need to do so that we feel that we are capable of responding to what the day has to offer. At the same time, too much of this will be really overactivating, sort of agitating. And so draw your right knee in and hand to the shin. And just let it move a little side to side, settle it in. And the left hand, left shin, same thing. Hips move side to side. So that we can balance that energy, so that we are here but not overactivated. Good. Heels high, hands overhead. Good. Heels wide, and then feet together. And then knees bend, hands to shins. Exhaling, hands to shins. Inhale, hands up, heels up. Exhale, heels wide, navel to spine. Inhale, heels together. Exhale, knees bend, hands to shins. So 3 like that. Inhale, heels up, hands up. Exhale, heels wide. Inhale, heels together. Exhale, hands to shins. Lift your head, shoulders. Inhale, heels up, hands up. Exhale, heels wide. In together. And exhale, hands to shins. Good. Good. Stay right here, hands behind head. Just right elbow to left knee. Extend your right leg. And then change 10 and 9 and 8 and 7. We bring our strength, our attention, our circulation back into the navel so we can digest, process whatever the practice brings up. 2, 1. Awesome. Hands and knees are going to come right over and find your dog. Good. Left knee to your left wrist and left shin to the floor. So if you come into Pigeon and you like to have a little support, you can fold your blanket one time so it gets thicker, right? And then put that underneath the left hip and follow the line of the left thigh bone. Fingertips widening on your exhale, you're just going to fold down. And just as we did with the strap behind your back, lead with your heart rising up right to the tips of your toes. And exhale, fold down. And inhale, rise up. And each time you rise, see if you can open from the right thigh all the way through the front of the right hip into the right chest. And then come to your forearms. And if you want to go up and down a little more, because it took you a second to find your blanket, do it. So the right hip rocks forward and the right toes reach back. And the back of your neck is wide and long. If this is appropriate, you can also stay there. You can add a block under your chest, stand it on its edge, set it on its belly, or walk yourself further down. Heart to the floor, arms out long. It all depends on your knees and your left hip. But we'll stay for 3 breaths. Lean to the left and bring your right foot up and out beside you. Right? Take your blanket and slide it even under your seat.
So left knee points to the left, right leg points to the right, and a block comes. You can have two blocks under the outer right thigh. And I'll turn in a minute. Right forearm to the blocks if you need to. Give it a little extra height. Left hand will come up. So with the left hand up, turn your left palm to face your right heel and sit your left hip to the floor. Good. Right elbow to the right side of the head and the left elbow drops. And just noticing any last holding. Soften the right thigh, the right foot. Let your hips be heavy. Let your breath explore the left side body. Any last spaces between the ribs. Let your left fingers be soft. Use your breath to open the inner lining of the left side. And the left hand comes up and over. We'll slide the blanket aside and lie down on your back. Keep your right heel wide. And cross your left ankle over your right knee. Take your hands overhead. Right hand holds the left wrist. And there's no work. Find the hook of your ankles. Right hand holds the left wrist. Let your elbows be wide and heavy. And all you're doing is opening the left side body. So we used those three poses in the yin for the spring. Feeling the whole outer line of the left side body become open and clear. Soften your face. Out the jaw, out the mouth as needed if it builds up. So that when you uncross your feet, they are wide, and when your hands come down, the palms are open, and you have neutral for 3 breaths. That the body is enlivened and calm. That's the state we want with Brahmana. That we are ready, but patient. We promise, I promise, we'll come right back here. Walk your feet in. Hands to the shins. Good. That's exhale, heels up, hands up. That's inhale. Exhale, heels wide. In together. Exhale, shins. 3. In, heels up, hands up. Out, heels wide. In together. And then hands to shins. Lift your head, shoulder. One more, heels up. And wide. And in together. And lift up. Hands behind head, right elbow, left knee. And press. And press. And press. Creating the stability in the center body so that it holds you and the upper body is at ease. 5, 4, 3, 2. Roll up and over. Find your dog. Last dog. First finger knuckles down. Open the elbows. Knees soft, back of the neck long. Base of the thumb into the floor, outer shoulders wrap back. Float the heart.
hips wide and high. Feel the balance you've made in the front and the back, left and right. Good. Right knee to the right wrist, right shin down. The blanket follows the line of your right thigh bone. Fingertips wide, heart comes high. And as you're settled, you just fold down on the exhalation. And you rise high on the inhalation. And find all the way from the tips of your left toes, all the way up through the left side body, a chance to clear. Elbows down, pause. The back of your neck is long, the base of your neck is wide. Rest on the floor and notice where you're holding rather than resting. If you like, a block under your chest. If you like, stay on your elbows. If you like, walk it out. Feel into what rests on the ground. And let everything else float. That there is a natural levity when we can rest on what touches the ground. That's the anchor. And then float out of that anchor. There's a natural levity, a buoyancy, the space of the heart, the energy of the heart. Rock right, swing your left foot forward, put 2 blocks outside of the left leg. Square your blanket underneath you. Set up your blocks so that if you need one on its edge, if it needs to be on its tail, whatever support is required, so that when you put your elbow down and you rest your head in your hands, you rest here. If one hand overhead is too much, right hand on the right thigh, or right hand high. Rest in your hips. Notice if it's easier to drop the left hip, and see if you can make it equal. Drop the right hip right out of your right shoulder. And then bending the right elbow so that the right arm rests at the right ear. And there is no work except to release the grip that you can discover where are you holding, and keep breathing it out. But the holding is constraining that buoyancy. Keep finding the inner levity, the space, the softening, the dropping. Out the mouth, out the jaw if it gets stuck. Micro movements if you need them. The right hand rises, nothing else changes. The right hand back, upright.
As you extend your right leg, you cross it over the left ankle. If you like, you can keep the blanket over your belly, your hips, we will stay. So left ankle is underneath the right ankle. Left hand holds the right wrist. The feet relax. The legs relax. The body releases what it's carried. And can you feel all the way into the right side of your heart? Make space. Where are you holding? Where are you resting? Notice the feet, the legs, the ribs, hands. Rest in your body. On the exhalation, keep melting. Just setting one more thing down. To uncross the feet, heels wide. Shake out the feet and the knees and the tail. And the hands come down. That we can rest on the floor. Keep letting go. Not holding, not gripping. Setting down. And the more fully we rest, the more that inner buoyancy is available in the chest. And let your awareness rest at the space between your brain and your skull. And feel there a quality of light, effortless. Just allowing that quality of light to create real ease around the brain. How that creates ease through the face, the skin around your eyes, your lips and your jaw. And effortlessness. That with this light around the brain, we have the same sensation of levity, buoyancy, of floating, of freedom. The body effortless, the hint of a smile, the space around the brain, between the brain and the skull, bright and buoyant. The space around the chest, open and buoyant. Take that levity, that space, that light from the head, and on your exhalation, bring it down into the chest. On your inhalation, it moves from the chest back to the head. From the exhale, light and ease into the heart. On the inhale, back to the head. Start to find a current, an exchange. Exhaling from the head to the heart. Inhaling from the heart to the head. A flow of light. A flow of effortlessness. From the space between the brain and the skull, down to the heart, and from the heart back up to the space between the brain and the skull. A flow of effortless light. And with that light, a joy, a delight. That the space around the heart is not only buoyant, but almost with bubbles or carbonation, like sparkles. Our natural state is an innate delight. On the exhale, the light from the head to the heart. On the inhale, from the heart to the head, a current of joy and delight. Effortless. Until the mind is bathed in light and the heart is bathed in light. And you release any effort of the technique and just reside in that sensation. And it's particularly important to feel when we are in the throes of grief or challenge. Let the grief stay, but know that you can still feel an inner source of joy and delight. Reside in what you made. And deepening your breathing. Coming back into the sensation of your arms and your legs. Turn of the chin side to side. The hands overhead. Walking your feet in. And turning to the right side, just let the right side of your head rest on your right upper arm. Let your knees fall to the right. And use your breath to fill the back of the body, to feel where you've been resting, to reinflate, and then to roll all the way up. And as you arrive, just softly, side to side. That you could come back into a simple gesture, anything that's still a little sticky. And we'll finish with 3 ohms as we move through the body. A is in the belly, U is in the chest, M is in the head, and they are equal. Sitting tall, sweeping wide, inhale up, palms together. Sweep wide. Thumbs to the forehead center. Om Shanti Shanti. Peace, peace, perfect peace. Namaste. Have a fantastic Saturday or Sunday or whenever you replay. Keep opening the chest, keep softening. Notice where you're resting and notice where you're holding. Over and over. Anahata, the unstruck heart, the unharmed aspect of ourselves. Tomorrow, 8 a.m. is class, and we'll watch the weather for the park. I will post on Instagram and Facebook if I need to cancel. And if it's just super soggy and wet, but it's not raining, I'll probably just do the whole thing standing. So we'll see. If it's not your jam, stay home, stay cozy. And I will see you soon. Satnam.